Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. I am Aisha Nazir. In today's class, we will discuss classes and objects in C++. First of all, we will see significance of class. Then we will see syntax of a class in C++, why we need a class, why we create a class. And then after that, objects. We will study different types of objects, why we need an object. We will discuss all these questions in detail. Object. Object is a real-world entity. As you look around, you have a lot of objects around you, like vehicles, car, truck, cycles, different buildings like houses, schools, gyms, other objects like ATM machines, and many, many more objects. Each and every object has characteristics, some attributes, functions that they perform for us. An object is a real or abstract item that contains information and methods that allow us to manipulate them. For example, car is a real-world object. There are multiple characteristics of car, like car's model, car's color, car body, car size, and every car has multiple functions like brake, gears, stop a car, how to run a car. Multiple functions are there. To create these objects in computer language, we first have to create a class. A class refers to a group of similar objects. For example, we have a class vehicle, and it has many objects like car, bus, truck. This single vehicle class is a collection of different objects. So, before you create an object in C++, we need to define a class. A class is a blueprint. Blueprint means a detailed plan of how an object would be, how it will perform functions, and what would be characteristics, attributes of that object. So we can think of a class as a sketch of a house. It contains all the details about the floors, doors, windows, etc. Based on these descriptions, we built the house. Actual house is the object, while the plan of how to build that house is a class. So as many houses can be made from the same description, means a class can have multiple objects in it. We can create many objects from a class. Everything in C++ is associated with classes and objects, along with its attributes and methods. Class is defined as the group of similar objects, whereas object is defined as the distinct entity having some characteristics. For example, apple, guava, banana, etc. All these trees are examples of objects, and collection of fruit is the class. So, a class in C++ is the building block that leads to object-oriented programming. It is basically a user-defined data type which hold its own data members and member functions, which can be accessed and used by creating an instance of that class that is an object. So, in short, a class has data members and member functions. What are data members and member functions? Let's understand it with an example. For example, consider the class of cars. There may be many cars with different names and brands, but all of them will have some common properties, like all of them will have 4 wheels, speed, limit, mileage, and range. So here car is the class and wheels, speed, limit, and mileage are their properties. So attributes and methods are basically variables and functions that belongs to the class. They are often referred to as class members. So class member is a collection of data members and member functions. So what is data members? Data members are the data variables, means properties. For example, in the above example of car, the data members will be speed, limit, mileage, etc. While member functions are the functions used to manipulate these variables, like apply brakes, increase speed, etc. Together, these data members and member functions define the properties and behavior of the object in a class. Let's see car example in detail. A car could be an object in C++. Objects have attributes and methods. So a car can have multiple attributes like model, color, number of doors, and number of seats. Mean all the nouns are considered as attributes. While on the other hand, all the methods like drive, park, reverse, all these are the verbs are considered as the methods. Let's take another example like human beings. Human being is a class in which man is an object of human being and woman is another object of human being. In the same way, if I created a class named as son, my eldest son will be an object of the class son and my youngest son will be another object of my class son. Hopefully you got the point. So an object is an instance of a class. When a class is defined, no memory is allocated. But when it is instantiated, means when we create an object of that class, then memory is allocated. Let's understand the concept of object with another example. Consider an ATM. An ATM is a class. It's a machine which is pretty much useless until you insert your debit card. After you insert your debit card, the machine has information about you and your bank account and the balance in it. So at this point, your credit card is an object. You have used a class and created an object. Now you can perform operation on it, like you can withdraw money, checking your balance, or getting statement of your account. These operations will be method belongs to that class, that is ATM. But you cannot use them until you create an object of this. So ATM is your class, your debit card is your object. So if you want to perform some functions, then you have to insert your debit card in the machine. If you will never insert your debit card, you will never create an object, then you can never perform any action on it and you can never use the services of an ATM machine. So after performing the operations, you click on exit or cancel button and remove your card from the ATM machine. It means you just destroyed the object. Now it is not an object. It has method and all the functions an ATM can perform, but you cannot use them until you insert your card again and create an object. In short, object is essential to access the functions, to access the variables, properties of a class. So, how to declare an object? When a class is defined, only the specification for the object is defined. No memory or storage is allocated. To use that data and access functions defined in the class, you need to create an object. In short, when a class is defined, only the specification for the object is defined. No memory or storage is allocated. So to use that data and access functions defined in the class, we must need to create an object. Now let's explore the syntax of a class and how we create an object. A class is defined in C++ using keyword class, followed by the name of the class. The class name can be any noun, but unless a keyword. The body of the class is defined inside the curly brackets and terminated by a semicolon at the end. Class. Class is a keyword. Keywords are those words whose meaning is already defined by compiler. These keywords cannot be used as an identifier. Identifier means the name of a class or the name of the variables. Note that keywords are the collection of reserved words and predefined identifiers. Predefined identifiers are basically identifiers that are defined by the compiler but can be changed in meaning by the user. There are a total of 95 reserved words in C++. The reserved words of C++ may be conventionally placed into several groups. We will see all these groups in detail in the coming lessons, inshallah. In the start of the body of the class, after the starting bracket, we first define the access specifiers. Access specifiers basically define how the members, both members like attribute and methods of a class can be accessed. Access specifiers can be public, private, and protected. These are the three access specifiers that basically provide the security of data because it protects our data from the unauthorized external entities' access. After that, there are the data members. In data members can be different variables. And then it has the member functions that are the methods that can access these variables. Always keep in mind that class always ends with a semicolon. Let's see a short example. In this code, you can see we declare a class with the keyword class, and student is basically the class name. Curly bracket starts, curly brackets end with a semicolon. And between that area is basically the body of a class. In this body, you can see that we use two specifiers. One is private, the other one is public. Private means the data, the variables, the method inside the private access specifier is hidden from the outside the world. We cannot access these members. While as the public, inside the public access specifiers, these methods and variables can be accessed outside the world, outside the class, can be accessed anywhere in the class. So, these are the data members, while these methods are the member functions. But where is the object? How to access these data members and member functions? I have told you that we cannot perform any actions and we can never access the data members without the object. So the next step after defining the class is to create an object. So for example, this is again the car example in which this is the class, right? We have created a class with its variables and methods, but we haven't used it. To use it, to give it the real body, we have to create the object. So how we will create the object? We created the object. Let's see each of these things. What are these? So first of all, we define the class with the keyword class. My class is the class name, and then access specifier, that is public. It means we can access all its elements from anywhere from the class. So we define a variable that type is int, and then we define another variable named myString whose data type is string, and we ended the class with a semicolon. After that, the int main, the main part, the control enters in the code from this part. So this is the main part from where the execution is started. So in this, we define the object by simply define the class name and with the object name. Object is basically a variable that contains a full copy of that object in it. So it can be any name, anything. So after that, if we want to initialize these variables, to access these variables, we have to initialize these variables through the object name. So we define that in my object, that is this object, that in this object, please initialize the variable name, my name, as 15. And the string, assign the name as some text. So first we created object, then we initialized those variables with values, and now we have to print these values. So for print, we use the syntax as cout my object, that is your object name, dot my num. Every object has the copy of its own variables. So my object has its own copy of my num variable. So what is in my num? My num is a variable that contains the value 15, while my string that contains the text some text. So when we will print out it will shows the output as 15 and some text. So let's code. To code we need an editor. So this is a code block, that is a C++ editor in which we will practice the C++ code. This is the first interface of code block, and here you can see that there are multiple options. So in it, so first of all, we will click on the create new project. Then we will click on the console application. Here we will press next. So here we will give our project title as we will create the first example. So we will give it a name like car example, and then you define the folder where your project will be saved, and you will see that the project will be created with the extension .cbp. So we will click next, and this is your compiler, GNU GUCC compiler, right? And leave all these settings as it is, and you will press finish. So this is your first interface, and you can see that here in the workspace your first project is created, name as car example. So in the source file, here is the main.cpp, that is extension of C++. After creating the project, this is the main coding area of C++. As you can see that here are a few lines that are already written. This is basically to ensure that the C++ editor is working properly. So let's see what are all these lines are. The first one is include iostream.h. What is include iostream.h? Basically, this is a standard input-output stream library header file that defines the standard input stream objects. Here are multiple objects like handle, cin, cout that we will use in our program, and we will discuss all these in detail. But now at that time you must just know that it is a predefined library that supports the input and output methods. After that, the second line is using namespace std. C++ supports the concept of namespaces. A namespace is essentially a prefix that is applied to all the names in a certain set. One way to think about namespace is that they are just like toolboxes with different useful tools in it. The using command tells the compiler to allow all the names in the std namespace to be usable without their prefixes. The iostream file defines 3 names used in this program like cout, cin and handle, which are all defined in the std namespace. Std is short for standard. Since these names are defined in the standard C++ library that comes with the compiler. Without using the std namespace, the names would have to be include the prefixes with each and every function. I think the screen is not clear, so first let's zoom it. Now I think it's sufficient zoom in. So namespace std, you can understand this concept by simply by an example like imagine that you need a pencil which is placed in a drawer which is present in your bedroom. So you need to enter in your room to access your pencil. So here room is basically iostream, that is a library. After you enter your room, you need to open the drawer and access the pencil. Here the drawer is basically the namespace and that drawer name is std. And the pencils are the built-in methods that we will use in this function like cin, cout and handle. So hopefully you got my point. So let's move to the next line, that is the int main. This is the main function. Here basically the compiler starts the execution. This is basically the entry point for the compiler in the code. So all the statements inside the curly braces are executed in a sequence. So I think this information is sufficient. Now let's move towards our code. So first of all, we have to define our class. So first of all, we will write the keyword as class and the name of the class is car. After that, the starting and ending curly braces which defines the body of the class. So in the body, first we have to define the access specifier, that is public. After that, we define the variables. So suppose we take 3 variables, which is like brand, model and year. So brand would be obviously string type, model would be of string type, year that would be of int type. So let's define them. So we defined our class with 3 variables. The first one is string brand. The second one is string model. The third one is int year. What means the data types? These are the parts that we will discuss in the later classes. But for now, it's the data types means what type of data will come in these variables, right? So in this, it will be of string type, and in this variable, it would be a number, right? After that, we have created the data members. Now, the next is we have to create the object of the class car to access these three variables. So first we will create the object. We created an object with the class name because we have to define this. We are making the object of which class? So first we have to define the class name. So in this line you can say that car object, or basically is an object of class car, right? Now from this subject, now we will initialize these variables and we will then further print these variables on the screen. So let's get started. Here we initialize the variables of the car with the object of car object. Here you can see that we use the dot operator. The data members and member functions of class can be accessed using the dot operator with the object. So if you want to access all these three variables, you have to define first the object name and then the variable name with the dot operator, and then you will initialize them with values. Always keep in mind that string values comes inside the inverted commas, while integer, there is no need of any inverted commas because it's just a integer value. So the next step is print the attribute values. So we will use cout, that is a built-in function. After that, insertion operator, and then the first variable name, that is car object dot brand. After that, again insertion operator, and then for the space, because we are going to print all the variables, so we will use inverted commas that shows then the second variable, and after that the third variable, right? And to go to the next line, we use the handle. So let's compile. So here is the output: BMW X5 1999. Thank you very much.